It is no secret that speed is one of the most important parts of Rocket League, but there is a very fine line that you cannot cross, because if you find yourself playing too quickly, you will often just put yourself out of position and therefore put your team in very bad spots. So in today's video, we'll be discussing exactly what happens when you do play too quickly in Rocket League, and we'll show you how you can actually play faster by being slower. And real quick, before we do get started, if you guys are interested in having one of your own replays analyzed, make sure you check out my Discord, which is linked down in the description, as I do offer free coaching through there. So if we look here, you're gonna like full speed, you turn upfield, and now where exactly do you think this play is going? Because CJ is 100% just getting 50'd here, and you are now pushing way upfield for absolutely no reason. Because there's no world in which this ball drops perfectly to you, because it's a clean 50. So there was no reason for us to turn abruptly. We could still be lingering over on the side, and then if the ball did pop over this way, then we could have turned like up the wall and gone to it. And you'll notice there's no one here who can challenge this ball over on this side of the field should it have gone this way. So putting ourselves here isn't really doing us any favors, because we're playing for a perfect situation that's probably not going to happen. And now, if this ball goes back into our half, we're leaving our last man back alone, while we have to circle back around, and we could have still been in a position to support, rather than being all the way up here for no reason. Because yeah, we are now miles out of the play, and now have to recover back, and our third man is back completely by himself. Luckily, there's no further offensive press, but now we're utilizing boost to rush back because we put ourselves too far upfield. So another thing we're going to notice a lot is you just absolutely burning the crap out of your boost. Like, you are not going to maintain this boost amount at all. Even when going supersonic, you are still going to be utilizing boost. Once you are supersonic, unless you are turning, do not use boost. Not necessary, does not help. You're just wasting resources for absolutely no reason. Another situation here, teammate has free ball, just drive. CJ is already upfield, so any clear that goes that way is going to be his. So we can just drive, pick up, a couple pads, We're picking up some pads, the ball goes upfield. Now we're a comfortable third man back here as our teammate lands like maybe around this area. Now we have 1, 2, 3 nicely spread out around the field, and we're not crowding into any areas, and we're not still moving unnecessarily quickly, because again, we're flying upfield for absolutely no reason. Like, yeah, a pass might be coming out, but look at how close we are to this play. When the pass comes out, it's going to make it almost impossible for us to jump for this. If we had taken a little bit more time and had been just a bit calmer and had been like here instead, yeah, we might have to avoid this bump, sure, but this is a much easier ball to jump for as opposed to being right underneath it. And if we're here and we get bumped, oh well, they're still just going to get a random clear, and our teammate is right here to be able to cover this while we spawn back. So there's no reason to like rush forward and dive at these things, because we're simply putting ourselves in really bad spots where we can't successfully make a play. As you can see here, we just can't get over the ball because we were too far underneath it to actually get over it. And it's just a clear off the backboard. Now it does become still a shooting opportunity, but now we've committed all 3 players for it rather than having a good scoring opportunity with our second man. And now we all kind of have to scramble back unnecessarily. Again, what are we doing all the way up here? We have 2 teammates in front of us. Why do we need to be in the opponent's corner? What purpose does us putting our car here serve? This is a hodgepodge of who knows. Like, who knows what the heck is going to happen with this interaction that's going on here. Probably not a goal. Even if it is, we don't want to be up here, because if it's not a goal, that's the worst spot we could possibly put ourselves. There is absolutely nothing wrong with, again, drive normally. Get yourself some pads. Just chill back in this kind of general area. You got 2 teammates pushing aggressively forward. Make sure you play that solid third man position so that if a clear does come out, you have the space to be able to turn and attack it, as well as having enough boost to do so. In this situation, you are saying, I'm going to push far into my opponent's half, along with both members of my team, putting all 3 of us in the opponent's final third, therefore meaning that if the opponents get a clear, we are again all playing retreating defense for absolutely no reason, where we could have just had solid third man. This gets cleared, we have the cover back in while we reestablish our rotation. Instead, we're putting ourselves in a position that does absolutely nothing, because there's absolutely nothing to be gained from being here. Like, yeah, you get a demo, great. But now you and CJ are both in the opponent's final third, and you've left your third man back in a 1v1. Same thing here. We're just absolutely rushing touches for no reason. Again, we're creeping into a corner we don't need to be in. So you rotate back. Again, CJ free ball. You don't need to rush. Just drive normally. No reason to panic here. CJ's got control. He's totally fine. You're still going to use a bunch of boost, and you're going to, again, go into the corner. If you weren't this far upfield, if you were instead, you know, just back here, free ball, possibly into the corner, or just generally along the backboard and a little bit easier control for you to follow up. Instead, you go too fast, you bang it as hard as possible, and now you make it really impossible for you to get a touch here. But then instead of just admitting that you're not really going to be able to get a touch, you try to dive at this, which again, luckily CJ does get the cut. But now you're landing again upfield basically on 0, having dove for a ball that you didn't really have a chance at getting, and you weren't really forcing the opponents to do anything with that dive either. So you're still just diving out of the play for no reason. Again, ignoring all of the pads to get a big boost. And we're still just flying around the field, and now we have a misread for no reason. So, like, this boost rotation isn't the worst, right? Like, you turn back, this is fine. You miss all the small pads on your way back. Thank goodness that corner boost spawns for you. You absolutely should have committed to these small pads first. Like, you land here. Your immediate commitment should have been here. Probably here. And then you could have turned out here. And then if that big boost spawns, great. If not, you can turn upfield, grab this. And, you know, you see the clear, so you could be here. This is fine. And then you'd have this mid boost. Instead, you go all the way back to the corner, which luckily it spawns. But now, if you look upfield, you have 2 teammates in front of you. CJ turns back, so that's your green light to go. That's fine. But you're going to be going so fast here that the second you misread this bounce, you're toast. Because you're turned too far into the midfield and you're going too quickly. So again, right here, like you're driving upfield. You come back, this is fine, sure, whatever. You're driving upfield, you use a little bit of boost. Now you can just chill. Just chill, just wait. That guy is not following this ball. There is nobody on this. Play towards the wall. If the ball bounces out, then you can turn out for it. But you need to be further back here so you can actually make this read. Because if you were here, now you can jump up and make a play. But instead, you're out here, and this is now impossible. This would have allowed you to make this challenge. That does not. So you're just not giving yourself the space to be able to make these challenges effectively, which is just putting you out of position like this. Like, you rush to this spot. Why? There was no reason. You're putting yourself out of position. You're not allowing the opponents to beat you. You're simply beating yourself. This is fine. Don't rush. Don't rush. You're rushing again. And this is exactly what happens. So here's the double commit that it creates, right? So, you know, you got the mid boost. Totally all well and good. Your teammates have this well under control. CJ not going to allow any kind of free pass off the wall here, so you don't have to worry about that. But instead of just calmly rotating back and waiting to see where this play goes, you rush as quickly as possible. So now, like, you're playing backboard. If you had just stayed on the backboard here, I would say this is fine. Because you're covering an area of the field that is not already covered, right? Like, your teammate has the net. So when your teammate is defending the net like this, like we are here, then you can go on the backboard like this. That would be fine. But instead, you come back off the backboard and put yourself in the same spot as your teammate. Therefore, when the ball pops out and becomes a ball that is playable from the net, you now think that it's your ball to go for, even though you just put yourself in the same spot as your teammate and are cutting rotation for no reason, simply because you want to play fast. So now, instead of having a possible free 50 here, and you know that ball pops out, and now having another player who can immediately turn with full boost to go challenge that ball on the wall and probably take control of it and have possession downfield, we had a double commit on a ball that was absolutely nothing. And now it's going pretty free to the mid, and now none of us can really attack it overly quickly. And now they get a free touch back downfield. Simply because we couldn't follow the ball up fast enough because you created a double commit. So don't rush, because rushing back in those situations and then putting yourself in the same spot as your teammate is going to make you want to go for a ball that shouldn't have been yours to begin with. Like, your teammate is already in position to play that ball. Let them play it. Don't create those situations. And you're still, like, not picking up the best pads that you could. Just take the middle ones. Like, you rotate back. This is fine. You go nice and wide, sure. You come back here. Just start taking the mid pads. Just drive normally up the field. Start taking the mid pads. Look at how nice and spaced out we'd be. You know, this is fine. Your teammate would go for this. Ball gets popped. Oh, look. You'd be in the perfect position to play this ball right here. But instead, because you put yourself all the way over here, now you have to try to cut across the field. And that was just because you put yourself in a spot that you didn't need to be in. Once again, going too quickly over there for no reason. Like, you have to ask yourself, when you put yourself in a spot on the field, why are you in that spot? Is it actually useful for you to be there? If there's no reason for you to be in a spot, don't be in that spot. Because if you look here, like, your teammate is already covering the right side of the field. So why do we also need to cover the right side of the field? Like, we already have this area covered. And if our second man doesn't have it covered, then we can be playing back in here, and then we can cover off of it if we need to. But now instead, we're all just on the same side of the field, and now we have to cut across for no reason when we could have been in a much more neutral position where we could have covered anything we would have needed to. If the ball had gone that way, we could cover that. If the ball came middle, we could cover that. If the ball went to the left, we could cover that. But instead now, we have to cut back across, and it's all awkward, and you're burning all your boost to be able to do this because you didn't pick up enough pads. And now you got another really bad touch because you're just trying to rush too quickly. So right here, like, we want to look for where's the space that we can play this ball to actually be effective. It's not that way. There are 3 players in this area. That does nothing. Ball needs to go to a spot that we can follow it up or a teammate can possibly turn on. So we'd want to play this ball this way. I think you might be trying to take a shot here, which is just absolutely not going to happen. With 3 defenders in this exact area, there's just no way you're going to be able to actually fit that through them. But you try to force it into that direction, and again, this just now becomes a completely free ball for them because you panicked at the ball and hit it in a direction you didn't need to. Again, why are we rushing so quickly upfield? Where are we going? Okay. It's, again, just playing too fast. So your teammate has the clear. This is fine. You know, we can move downfield a little bit quickly. We don't need to dive, though. Like, we can already start to chill out our movement here. There's not really an opportunity coming from this play. 2 people on the backboard, probably unlikely. We can hang out around this area. We see the touch. That guy's going to have another touch, so let's just wait. He's got to play it towards the wall. Why don't we just wait to see him make the touch and go towards the wall with him, or just force him to go somewhere else and then back off? Why are we diving as second man? Because now we dove, and now look at the position that our third man's in again. Has to wait. Both players on our opponent's backboard. Now there's just a major counterattack coming. Completely unnecessary. If you had just waited, you could probably cut this ball off or at least force this next touch to be a little bit more awkward. And you, like, would have allowed our third to be further back. Now this is a very easy save as opposed to leaving your teammate alone in this situation where he has to deal with everything. So definitely, again, you dove too aggressively for absolutely no reason. There was no danger on this ball. Like, if he gets this touch, who cares? What danger does this create if he gets this next touch? Absolutely none. But instead of just playing patiently and recognizing that we'd be able to just play off this next touch, we dive unnecessarily, and that creates a counterattack opportunity for our opponents. Again, we're going way too fast here. This ball is totally free for your teammate. You just saw he has free control. Why are we sprinting? Why are we burning all of our boosts? Why are we not looking at the play? You have no idea what's going on here. You see your teammate has full control. Just drive normally. Why are we turning aggressively here? What are we turning for? What are we hoping is going to happen with us turning upfield here? Your teammate's going towards the wall. You're putting yourself forward upfield for absolutely no reason. Now you're going to rotate back. This is fine. You see your teammate has the clear. And again, you're just going to absolutely full send for what purpose? My goodness. The biggest lesson I can give you is just calm down. Just play calmer. If you came back here, you could just stay along the back line, turn. Like, you don't need to go upfield because a 50 is coming. So you could just play more neutrally, like back here. You see this challenge, rotate nice and wide to the back post, hang out here. No reason to rush. You see a touch possibly coming out. No reason to dive. There's nothing dangerous about this touch. If he wants to score, he has to get towards the net. So his position right now is not threatening. If we were here, free ball. 2 players possibly diving forward. Possibly could have a clear that CJ could turn on. But instead you dove super aggressively at a ball that wasn't even threatening. You had no idea what was coming. He could have just popped that ball over you and taken control. But instead you threw yourself at a ball that was completely unnecessary, completely not dangerous at all, and it creates all the difference. Like, this is a wide open net because you dove for no reason. If the ball is not threatening, do not dive. There is no reason to throw yourself at a ball that number 1, you have no read on, and number 2, isn't threatening in the position that it's in. As you guys can see, speed is a double-edged sword in Rocket League. You obviously want to play as quickly as possible, but the reality of the situation is that playing fast actually means putting yourself in a good spot on the field at the exact moment that you need to be there to be able to make a play. When you play too quickly, you often put yourself in spots way before you need to be there, therefore meaning that you have to adjust your positioning, and at the time that you would finally be able to make a play on the ball, you are now no longer in a position to do so. So make sure as you're playing your own games, you're really focusing on when you're arriving in spots on the field. If you find yourself getting places before you need to be there, you need to adjust the speed at which you're moving to make sure that you keep yourself more in control. Of course, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who made it to this point in the video. I do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you'd like to be a bit more involved in the community we're building here, and again, possibly have one of your own replays analyzed, make sure you do check out my Discord, which is again linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.